I just want gnomes to come create it for me. I want to wake up in the morning and I want this to be folded neatly, all done at the foot of my bed. That's all I ask for. Hey y'all, welcome back. So great to see you again. If we haven't met yet, hi, I'm Janice, and I'm the resident bitch in stitches here on this channel. It's really nice to meet you. It's been a few minutes since I've been here, hasn't it? Yeah, life happened, summer happened, stuff's about to happen, but I'm about to have a whole lot of time on my hands. And I'm going to explain later. But at first, I figured I'd tell you about my finished object I have here, and I'll insert some footage of me standing up in it, and I'll go over all about it there. So as I was showing you, this is my self-drafted top I made with those yarn art flower cakes. And I literally just measured what a shirt that I own, that I like how it fits. I'm going to stand a little further back. There we go. That I like how it looks. I literally just measured one side of the width because then I knew how wide one panel should be. And then for the length, I kind of did the same thing. I measured how long it was, but keeping in mind that I would be blocking. So blocking, as we know, buys us some room. However, I did not want to overstretch this because then it would distort the stitches. So I knew inchwise what I wanted it to be. And it turned out that my blocking, pre-blocking, the post-blocking, the length is 22. It is 22 inches from here to here. And it is actually 21 inches. So it is almost a square. It is almost a perfect square. It is 21 inches from side to side. I made two exactly the same. Exact same number of stitches, exact same number of colors of rows, so that it matched up perfectly. Okay? I blocked them. I blocked them, and then I sewed them together. Now, when I sewed them together, one thing I will say I did, because the nature of this stitch, this teardrops stitch, let's see if I can show you. You know what? I think it might be better this side. Here we go. As you can see, it comes like shallow. It gives you literally like one crochet, one double crochet to stitch into. I felt like that might not be good. So what I did was I went down the side of each panel and did chains. It turned out to be 129 chains from this edge, like it's up here, from this point to this point. Okay, it was 129. I then go and do it on this side. I didn't count. And I'm like, wait a minute, that's not smart. I should do it so I have the same number. I didn't count. So I was almost done with this side. I counted this side. I only needed like 5 more stitches to match it, and it worked perfect. Okay? All right. So I create the first panel. When I go to make the second panel, I did it again. I didn't count. But you want to hear something crazy? It was 129 on the one side. And then on the fourth side, I did count. I just thought that was crazy. I'm like, oh my God, I needed to match up so then I can match stitch for stitch. And it actually worked out. So I did 129 because it just seemed to work out with the rows. So then making these chain stitches made it really easy just to stitch into. When I was sewing them together, I just sewed into the loops of the chains rather than into the actual stitches of the ends of the rows. I did leave myself an opening here because I thought that would look cute. And then when I joined here, these 4 points, I just kind of said, well, let me, I literally did stitch markers and decided where good spots would be. And I've had to move them a couple times because I'm like, well, not too big. We'll wait. I got to get my head through. And then my head got through and I'm like, wait, that might be too big. So once I figured it out, I then placed them and just did one repeat of the stitch pattern. So it's not just double crochets, it's actually the stitch pattern. I just thought that looked cute. And then I just sewed it on here. I crocheted the tab onto the front and then whip stitched it onto the back. And it came out super cute. Super easy. You guys can do this. I never thought I could, and I made a cute top. And it was actually all the rage at the festival, at the retreat. And when I took off my sweater, because it actually was chilly in the morning, I got to wear a sweater. I got to wear my sweaters. Everyone was like, oh, and it's cold shoulder. How cute is that? And I love cold shoulder tops. T-shirts, I probably own 4 or 5 cold shoulder tops. So I just really enjoyed doing this. So I'm definitely going to make another one like this. I'll just use a different stitch pattern. And I definitely want to make some ponchos too. So yeah, it's pretty nice, isn't it? It's really lightweight and I like it. But now that I'm back, I figured I'll show you what I did. So it's, like I said, it's just 2 kind of squares / rectangles that I crocheted and then blocked and hand sewed together. So I picked this particular stitch out of my book, the New Crochet Stitch Dictionary, that I got from Amazon quite a while ago, actually. I believe I got this pretty early on into my crochet journey, which has now been over 3 years. I went through and chose a stitch that I thought looked nice, and that would be this one here, which is the 2-color teardrops. And it gives a diagram. I don't want to show it because that's intellectual property from the author of the book, which is, I don't want to butcher names, but you can see their names here. Yeah, it's a good book. I have now gone into this book probably 4 or 5 times. No, it's probably more than that, to pick a stitch out and then to make something with that stitch. It doesn't always work out. This was actually probably the 4th stitch I chose that I landed on, because I would start other stitches and then I'd start it up and I go, I don't like how it's looking. This one, I liked how close together it was, because if I chose to wear this without a tank top under it, I could. But yet it still feels light and breezy. But I think we have that more to thank the yarn I chose for it than the actual pattern. Sorry about the crinkle. But what I used, I'll insert a picture here, because I'm going to be sorry to say that this colorway that I used is not actually available currently on Amazon, which is where I bought it. And I believe I bought it 2 years ago. So it's Yarn Art Flowers Vivid, and the colorway was number 509. Here's some info. There is another site like here, I believe it's called Yarn Park, that does have it for sale, but it is significantly more there than what I paid for it per cake. So I paid, I believe it was, give me a second, I'll check. Because right now, the other yarn cakes are showing that they are, I guess I did, didn't I? $15.99. I paid $15.99 per, and I bought 2. And I bought 2 thinking that when I bought it, maybe it would become a blanket or a wrap or something to that effect. Not knowing what it would be, I bought 2. I'm now thankful that I did, and I'll tell you why. Because as I started making this, I started bottom up. I went bottom up, and I started with the outermost color, which was the, as I showed you in the stand-up, the dark, like kind of turquoise. And the contrast in the stitch was the beginning of the center, which was that really gorgeous coral that I showed you. And then as I continued to work, I worked through the colors. So could I have made this with one cake? Yes, absolutely I could have. However, the back and the front would have been completely different. I could have made my sections smaller, meaning not as many repeats in the same color. Like I could have divided each section in, like, instead of, like, I believe at the bottom I have 11. So I could have put like 6 on the front, 6 on the back, and then go to the next colorway and done like 5 and 5, you know, kind of how I did, like 11, 10. However, that would have meant a lot more stopping and starting, ends to weave in, and I was on a time crunch. I literally wanted to take this with me to the yarn retreat I went to at the last weekend of July, first weekend of August, right there. It was like August 1st through the 3rd, I believe it was, in Ohio. It's called Bellwether Farm, Retreat at Bellwether Farm, hosted by Around the Table Yarns in Shaker Heights, Ohio. If you've never been, I highly recommend it. You can see all about it on Maker Mark Knits channel. He attends every year, and he did cover it pretty extensively this year, and we had a lot of fun. But I wanted to take this with me as a finished make. So I was kind of in a time crunch, and I was trying to not have so many ends to weave in and add time to my overall project length. So I went ahead and used 2. But the beauty is I do still have 2 very significant sized matching cakes left. So I think what I will do with this, my thought has been I could make a second one of these. I also thought about it might be cute to make something kind of similar, but maybe with actual sleeves. Or I've been playing around with the idea because I did make a shawl that was like a rectangle that would make, it's a shawl, but it's also you could use it like as a wrap, as a shawl, or as a poncho, because I added some buttons to it. Or you could close up both ends and use it as a very loose shrug. I do have footage of all of that. If you're interested, on the other app known as TT, that you could always go check it out over there. I give a very in-depth discussion about. So that's what I am wearing. So what is it that's going to be giving me so much time in the future? Well, here's the reason for the video today. So I decided, since I now, as of today, am on a leave of absence from work for several months due to my needing a surgical procedure to be done, this is going to be the perfect time to finish all my whips. All my whips need to get done. I have too many. It's kind of starting to stress me out. And as you all know, when you get too many, you kind of don't want to work on any of them. And I'm not there yet. I actually do want to work on them. I want to finish them. And that's part of the problem, is I kind of get overwhelmed because I want to finish things. And when you work on one and you put a lot of hours into it, and then you realize, wait, I'm not even near done here. I get overwhelmed, and so then I go work on another one. And that's kind of how you end up with so many whips in such a state of unfinishedness, right? Tell me I'm not the only one. Please just give me a hand raise in the comments if, hi, I'm Janice and I'm a yarn addict. Just give me a hand wave and a hi, Janice, in the comments if you're with me. But I'm more, I guess I actually am 90% of the time, I'm a product creator. So I want the item, not so much the experience, which that's not even true, because a lot of times I enjoy what I'm learning, because I am learning. I'm very good at crochet. I tend to say now I'm not really learning, I'm just growing in that area, but I am a new knitter. So as I've told you before, I consider myself a critter. I am a crocheter who became a knitter. So I just shorten that to call myself a critter. And I've been knitting since December of 25. So less than a year, because we just hit mid-August. So I do have several projects, but here's what's really my motivation at this point. Besides, I really would like them done because I have things I want to start enjoying making for the holiday seasons. I do have some timelines. So I'll go over all of them with you now. Feel free to tune out at any time because there's a lot. And where I'm just going to see how many of these I can get done over the next few months that I'm going to be recuperating. I mean, I'm going to have the time. I need to allow my body time to heal. So I might as well use that time to take care of all of these projects, get them done, get them to their owners if the owner is not me, and then get excited about what I want to make moving forward. So let's start with our first whip. Okay, so whip number 1. I hope you don't mind. I will be referring to my iPad. That is a picture that my child created. He's not a child anymore. He's a grown adult. Created for me many years ago. But as a proud mom, we kind of don't get rid of anything our child makes for us. So it will forever live as my sleep screen on my iPad. Gosh, I'm crazy like that. I mean, I love this child. Just a quick story. He used to fly as an unaccompanied minor to visit his dad in the summer when his dad lived in Minnesota. And he was like 5. So this one year, his dad said, we're from Florida originally. I don't live there anymore, only in my heart, and South Florida. So he had said to me, is it okay if I book the trip out of Orlando? It's a lot cheaper out of Orlando because I think because airports don't charge as much fees out of Orlando as they do as South Florida. And I said, yeah, that'd be fine. We'll drive up to Orlando. We'll make a weekend of it when we take him and when we pick him up. Well, fast forward to we get there and the flight was delayed for many hours. Well, Orlando Airport has a mall. So we would go through the stores just to kill time. And I believe it was like a Sharper Image. It might not have been the original Sharper Image, God rest in peace, but it may have been. But they're hanging on like a little spin rack were keychains that you could record something. Obviously, this is before cell phones. And you would just record a little something. Let's say that you get milk on the way home. And then you could replay it. Oh yeah, I got to get milk on the way home. And then you could delete it. You could, record over it. It was just, and they were different shapes. So my son picks one up, 5, knows how to work it immediately. God bless him. And literally says, well, hello, Mom, I love you. So happy, so nonchalant, and then hangs it back up on the cord. Did you think I could leave that there? I literally said, give me that. And he looks at me like he's in trouble. I go, I can't leave that here. You just saved a beautiful message to me. I can't leave that here. I paid some crazy money for this keychain. At the time, I mean, we're talking like year 2000. I believe it was like $13 or $14 for this keychain. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, please do not record anymore. But I literally kept that. for unknown number of years, to the point where I think I went to do it one day. He was by this time grown. Like, was he 20 yet? I believe he was either 18 or 19, could possibly have been 20. And I went to do it because, you know, it's in a drawer. And I went, oh, there's that. And I went to do it to hear a 5-year-old son say how much he loves me. And it didn't work anymore. And I'm like, oh, the battery died. Well, I open it and it was completely corroded from the battery being that old. And even though I cleaned it out, put a new battery, it didn't work. So I lost it. But I did keep it that long. So that just explains why, in much more detail than you ever wanted or needed. But that explains why this is still my sleep screen, because I can't get rid of it. Okay. So whip number 1 was planned on being something I would take to the retreat to wear as well. It didn't work out. Other things took precedent, whatever. Life happens, right? So this is called the Isla. Maybe you guys could tell me how the pronunciation. Granny Square sweater, and it's by Lakeside Loops. Here's a picture of the pattern. So I actually bought this pattern at the very beginning of my crochet career. I found it on Etsy. I thought it was absolutely adorable. I really wanted it. I bought all the yarn to make it. And then it literally sat here, never to be made. So fast forward to like the beginning of June, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that would be such a cute top to wear to the retreat. Let me start it. Well, I started it. It's not done. It's nowhere near done. But it is a whip I would like to finish and have it complete finally. This is how far I am. So the design of this pattern is 2 different granny squares that you will then sew all of them together to make this kind of like longer, long sleeve, flowy, beachy top. So this is one of the 2 squares, which is extremely cute. And I have made, if my count was right, 24 out of 36. So the construction shows you to make 72 squares. I believe all sizes are the same. I could be wrong, but I believe all sizes in this pattern use the same number of squares. What changes is how many rows of double crochets you will use at the sides when you join front to back, as well as like when you join to make your sleeve. But so far, I think I have 24 here of square 1, and I'm not going to start square 2 until I finish square 1, just make my life easy, because this I have memorized and I can just whip it out. So I am using the recommended yarn for this, which is Bernat Softy Cotton. And it is, I'm using clear white, which is what was used in the pattern. It is a light 3 weight yarn. It recommends 4 knitting needles and 4mm crochet hook. It is 60% cotton, 40% acrylic, and this skein holds 254 yards. So there you are. This is still very much available at Amazon, because I recently went back and bought some in 2 other colors. And the reason is, this actually works up very nice. This is a very nice feeling yarn that will become a garment. It really is. It's very soft. I do recognize it has acrylic in it. I'm not against acrylic. I actually am fine with acrylic. I really do feel it has a purpose, especially for cost-saving purposes. I do allow myself to purchase, alpaca and wool and hand-dyed on occasion. But I do have a budget that I try to stick to. And if I am able to find yarns that I enjoy using that are lesser expensive than others, that just allows me to create that much more. So I actually really think this is a nice yarn. And I'm going to finish this up during this time. Hopefully, I will have it done by the end of my time off. So that is whip number 1, my Isla tomato granny square sweater. The pattern is by Lakeside Loops. The yarn is by Yarnspirations Bernat, and it's being created by me. Okay, whip number 2. Let me pull it up on my iPad. Again, I need to have a reference. Okay, so this is called, here's a copy of the front of the Ravelry page. It's called Double Wedding Rings. It is a mosaic crochet pattern, could be a blanket, could be a pillowcase. It is by Ashley Brotzel, and it is Ashley Brotzel Designs. That's it. I knew there was more than just her name. I apologize for the long pause. Just gave you another one. I have showed this before, but it has made some significant progress. So this is where I'm at currently. I'm about 1.5 rounds, repeats. I am 1.5 repeats in. So I am doing 3 repeats wide, and it will be 4 repeats tall. So it's 3 wide, and I'm at 1.5 so far. Isn't this looking beautiful? Oh my gosh, it is so pretty. And yes, it is reversible. Isn't it just beautiful? What a great pattern. Yes, I'm working on a blanket in summer. It is currently 101 degrees. I just looked at my outside temp. We have a temperature gauge we keep outside. It's 101 here, and I'm working on a blanket. Yeah, I can only work on this in the morning, like early morning. So after so many rounds, I have to put it down because it gets so hot. I'm sure you guys can relate. I'm sure you can relate, absolutely. This is a wedding gift. This isn't a time crunch. I need this to be done because I am attending the wedding at the beginning of October. That's cutting it close with my surgery date, I recognize, but it's just the way things laid out. I'm 100% planning on attending, but I would like to be able to ship this to its recipient before I go. I don't want to try to carry it on a plane. I don't want to risk losing it in luggage. I just want to make sure it gets there. So I will ship it like UPS or FedEx to the recipient, but it needs to get done. I'm obviously nowhere near done. But the yarn I'm using, I have talked about this before, but I'll go ahead and share it with you again. I have to just kind of get it out of here. I kind of keep it in a bin because these are huge skeins. I chose to use Stylecraft Special. This is an Aran weight yarn, and I'm using it, the option that is with wool. So this is 80% acrylic, 20% wool. That was my choice, as the young couple live up in New Jersey / New York area, right there where they come very close to each other. So it does get cold there. So they will be more than happy to have that wool element thrown in there. And it is working up very thick and heavy because it is almost, a double thick. The overlay mosaic, excuse me, the overlay mosaic crochet by design is double thickness. So it will be definitely a warm blanket. I am making it to be about queen size. I did buy 5 of each color. This gorgeous teal is called Ocean There you are. And you can see it up close, how pretty that is. So pretty. I love this color. This is actually the main color that they chose for the wedding. So I'm very thankful that I found this, and that I'm very happy with it. It's working up beautifully. It's great to use. It works lovely in the hand. It's not scratchy. It's nice. And I'm using a 5.5 hook, and I make sure to always use the same exact hook. As you know, different makers, hooks can vary, just like knitting needles can vary. So I always make sure to use the same exact hook so that the pattern is consistent. So this has to get done. And so now what I have done over the last 2 mornings is I told myself to do 10 rows a day because there's a lot. Each repeat, meaning one full repeat of the pattern, is over 70 rows. So if I still have 2.5 to go, that's a lot. And that's a lot to try to get done in 6 weeks. Well, 10 rows literally takes me almost 6 hours. I checked the clock. I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I might have to break that up over the day, because not only do I have to finish those, I then have to add the border. So needless to say, this is priority number 1. So that is what I'm spending the most time on currently at finishing. So we'll see what happens. So stay tuned to see how this goes and how I do on getting it completed in time. So this is the double wedding rings overlay mosaic crochet blanket that the pattern is made by Ashley Brotzel. The yarn is by Stylecraft, right? Yes, it is Stylecraft Special. The yarn is by Stylecraft, and it is being made by me. Okay, so what do you think, guys? That's it. Those are all. I only have 2. Just kidding. I'm just kidding. I have so many. Okay, I will show you number 3. So number 3 is hanging out in my bag that I got this year from the retreat I went to. So they gave us, the fabric was actually designed by I'm not sure if the person actually works at the shop or is a friend of the shop, but it was designed for, I believe, last year's retreat that I went to. And they still had it they decided to go ahead and offer it again this year. So isn't it cute? It has around the table yarns on it, and then just all kinds of stuff you have around the farm, but also why we're there. So you have like knitting. They, of course, had cows and birds and leaves and trees and chickens. And there is crochet on here. I just have to find it. There's all kinds. There it is. There's crochet and balls of yarn and sweaters. Just fun. And then the crest for, I just saw, oh, here it is. The crest for Bellwether Farm. Isn't that cute? What a great bag. Such a great bag. So in this bag, I think I've showed this to you before. It's actually grown a good amount. This is, I'm going to look at the iPad. This is the Baldric. This is the Baldric tunic by Isabel Kramer. It's by Isabel? Yes, Isabel Kramer. So it has actually grown significantly, as you can see. I believe I'm supposed to work until there is 16 inches from the underarm in length, but I don't know if I'm going to go that long. I don't know it's necessary, but this is the, isn't that cute? The design that's under the arms. See, that's the design that's under the arms. And then of course it's just stockinette the rest of the way. And then the same garter design will end up on the sleeves at some point. So that's good. So it will tie it into the rest of the garment. And it is like a generous boat neck, which I like. I think I explained it when I showed this to you previously. There was a picture in the projects of a very attractive young girl who had it kind of off her shoulder. And being that this is a gift for my stepdaughter's birthday, that really sold it for me. I thought, you know what, that's kind of her style too. She'll look adorable in it. But I also know she'll love romping around the house, just staying warm through the winter in it. So her birthday is the end of September. So I do have time. About the same timeline I have for the blanket. So I kind of, bounce between the two. I spent the morning working on the blanket and then doing a few things around the house to get ready for, my procedure. I'm not going to be able to sleep in the bed because I've had this procedure previously and it was extremely uncomfortable. And I got very little sleep. It made life kind of miserable for the first week or two. So I will actually be sleeping in my recliner. This is actually something I recently purchased. It is a power lift recliner. I believe all old people are supposed to have one by a certain age, so I'm good there. I've met the requirement, but it'll help me get up and out. I'm having my hip replaced. I mean, I don't know why I keep saying procedure. I'm having a hip replacement. I have degenerative bone disease. It's, I have lupus. It could be part of that. It may not be. It could be because I stand all day for decades now for a job, for my career. And that probably plays a role of it too. But I previously had my other hip done 3 years ago, and now it's time to do this one. So I'm going to be living in this section for a few weeks. And it's also good to have an idea of what I'm working on and having all of those things available to me here, because my yarn lives downstairs in a spare bedroom. There is I keep it in a closet there, and I'm not going to be able to get down there. Stairs are going to be very difficult for me, for at least for the first few days, up to like a week. And so I just prefer having, a good chunk of what I need up here with me for these projects to save myself the grief of trying to go down and get it. So that's also part of me getting ready for the surgery, is making sure I have stuff here, skeins wound into cakes, things like that, that might require me to stand for a few minutes. That may be difficult to do. So I'm just making everything ready for my life to be easier after the procedure. So this is project WIP number 2 that I'm still working on. I know she's going to love it. Everybody that has seen it, because I did, until it was, I hadn't hit the arm, I hadn't split for sleeves, we'll say, up until this, while it was a take to work with me to work on. I had not split for sleeves yet. But everyone who saw it was like, oh, I love the colors. That's so cute. They're going to love it. It looks so comfy and cozy. So I think it's going to be a hit. And I'm actually enjoying making it. It's actually very easy. It's just 1 row, 2 round repeat. It's a 2 round repeat. Easy to keep track of, easy to do while I'm watching, a video or another YouTuber. So very enjoyable. So I don't think that it'll be a problem to get this done. But again, this is the baldric that I'm working on by Isabel Kramer. The pattern is by Isabel Kramer. The yarn is by Knit Picks, which I have explained before, which is why I'm not really going into it now, as well as Temu. Don't get mad. Temu gave me some yarn. Most of it I've not used. I got rid of it. This I chose to use. I like it. And it's being made by me. So that's 3. That is 3 projects we have so far. Is that all, Janice? No, it's not. It is not it. But I will show you my next one. So this one you have not seen yet. This is actually a recent cast on, and I don't think I have it here in my iPad. I don't. It's only in my phone. But I actually know the info. Okay. So this is the, here's a picture. It is the Comfort Pullover, which is a pattern by Celine Phaeton. It is such a cute pattern. I like the V-neck. I like the 2x2 ribbing. I like the details at the hemline, how the ribbing kind of forms a V on the sides and has kind of shape to it. I just like everything about it. It is created to be somewhat oversized. I believe I chose size 4. I chose size 4, but I chose size 4 with the idea that it would be even more oversized, because to me this looks like if it was just like big and cozy, that you could wear with leggings and tights, it would just be so cute. So I chose to make a size 4. And again, I don't know if I've mentioned this to you all. As I'm making stuff, I think to myself, this is so huge. I have said this to you. This feels so huge. I should stop because it feels so huge. And then I join in the round and I go, uh-oh, maybe it's not going to fit. It'll fit. It will fit. It'll fit. However, I don't know. We'll see. Look at how good it's looking, though. Look at that. Isn't that beauty? It's so beautiful. It's so pretty. I'm making it in this beautiful eggplant. I have not made something like this before. It did not have short rows. You cast on your shoulders one at a time, and it was literally just a small strip. And it's very interesting the way you did it. You cast on a very small number of stitches and did about 4 rows. And then it said to break yarn and slide it down on your cord. Keep it on your cord. And then I had to start shoulder number 2. I thought that was so cool. I felt so like an experienced knitter doing that. I felt so like an experienced critter. But just so you know, I had screwed it up and I had to take the second one apart and start it over. But you're supposed to have it so that obviously the correct ones are facing each other. And I, of course, had it like this, not like this. But luckily I figured it out like 3 rows in. So I just pulled it out and started over. This was supposed to go with me on the retreat. In fact, I cast that first little piece on the morning before, getting on a plane. So sitting here enjoying my coffee before I headed to the airport at 2 a.m., I cast that on. And I was like, great, this is what I'll work on when I get to the airport. I was so happy. So I go. I'm stressing the whole time, am I going to lose my needles through security? Are they going to take them? I had a crochet thing with me just in case, because I know I can travel with crochet hooks. I've done it before. But you never know. It's up to who you're dealing with at that moment as a security agent. If they're not in a great mood, your needles or your project could go bye-bye. But I was stressing. And I went through, no issues. I was so happy. Yay! I get through. I get to my gate. I have a seat. I go, I'm so excited. Now I could start on the second side of that shoulder. I can do the second shoulder now. And I open my bag, Crickets. I left it home. It was like literally sitting right here next to my chair. So it didn't go with me. So it became my work on my park and ride project to and from work. And now I'm working on it just, in between other things to get it done. But the yarn is, I want to pull a whole skein out to show you, rather than just the ball. So this is how it came. It's from Yarn Cafe Creations. I bought this like a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago. I believe this was purchased 2 years ago. I apologize for the crinkle of the tissue, but this is how it arrives. Yarn Cafe Creations. I chose the Cafe Au Latte DK in the color Eggplant. It is a 100% superwash Polworth wool, 245 yards for 100 grams, and it's a 4-ply. I do not believe they carry yarn like this anymore. I do not patron this store anymore for personal reasons. I placed an order. I mean, if you really want to know, that other app we discussed, there is a 5-part, I believe either 5 or 6-part rant, if you like rants, about why I hate them so much. I don't hate them because of this. I love this yarn. It's beautiful. It's exactly what I wanted when I bought it. It was going to be a crochet version of a weekender. That never happened. And it will never be a weekender because it's a DK, not worsted, and I don't have enough of it. That's why it's becoming the comfort pullover. But someday I will own a weekender, and I'm going to love it. I just won't be today. But at any rate, this is a lovely yarn. I'm happy I own it. I'm happy I'm using it. I will never use them again. Now, fast forward to now, the yarn of which I hate, at the retreat, the last day we're done at noon. Well, at about 10 to 10:15, they start playing bingo. And the goal of bingo is everybody will be able to call bingo. Everybody will win. They're going to keep playing as long as people are, until everyone has won bingo, at least once. So anybody who wants to play bingo was to bring a wrapped skein of stash light yarn, unused, in new condition, and put it on the table so people could pick from it, kind of like a, share, take one, bring one, take one kind of a thing. So the yarn I hate, I actually took 2 and I put it in a bag, and that was what I took there. I had 5. I took the 2 best looking ones, and that was what I put up for, someone to grab, someone to win. Well, I went and stayed with my best friend, Anne. We met in person at the retreat last year and have been thick as thieves ever since. She graciously offered for me to come and stay with them a day before and then be able to go home the Monday after. So while we're chit-chatting about, we can't wait to go tomorrow, we're going to have so much fun. I said, what yarn are you going to put up for bingo? She wasn't sure. So she went through her stash and she found a skein, and she's like, I'll use this, but this company doesn't even exist anymore. I was like, well, I don't think it'll matter because that's a nice skein. It's enough to make a hat or whatever. It's beautiful. I said, mine's ugly. And she's like, let me see. So I took it out to show it to her. She went, this is gorgeous. What are you talking about? This is not ugly. This is gorgeous. I'm like, I'm glad you think so. I hate it. I don't like it. And of course she then she got the cliff notes of the story. And she's like, no, I see what you mean. Cause I showed her the picture of the original listing of when I bought it. And she's like, no, I see what you're saying. You're right. This is not anywhere close to what you thought it would be. However, this is beautiful yarn. And I was like, I'm glad you think so. It has a funk attached. I don't like it. I'm so glad you enjoy it. And she said, I'm going to try to win this yarn. This is beautiful yarn. She won it. She was able to hit bingo, and it was still on the table up for grabs, and she grabbed it. And she was so happy to own it, which makes me happy, because you know what? That just tells me that that yarn was never meant for me in the first place. It was supposed to be hers. So I told her, good, then you can have the rest of it. So when I got home, I got the other 3 skeins and I mailed it to her. And she has started a weekender light with it because it's fingering weight. So I'm extremely happy about that. Something that I was not even remotely attracted to, she is in love with, and I love that. And that is why there are so many options for yarn out there in the world, because there is a butt for every seat, as my grandmother would say. So I will tell you, I have since gone on their website, and they do not just offer up yarn in colors with, you know, seasonal colorways here and there. I think that's all they do now, are kind of like mystery skeins of like seasonal whatevers. They don't show you pictures of yarn anymore. I'm sure I'm partly to blame for that, and I'm okay with it, because it just led down the road to disappointment for me. But I know there are plenty of people who love their product. I am someone who loves their product. I just don't love their customer service. But too much information on this yarn. But this is a DK weight, and it's a superwash Polworth. And I had never heard of a Polworth before. I had to Google it before I bought this. And it said it's a very soft yarn. So it is. It's a very nice yarn. I definitely think that this will definitely be okay to wear next to skin. And I have not split for sleeves yet. It started, like I said, with 2 pieces of shoulder that at some point I then brought together with the back collar, and then proceeded to work back and forth, kind of like you would a cardigan. And then I just recently joined in the center to form, that'll be my V-neck. Very recently, like, I don't know, 5 or 6 rounds ago. Let's see. This has no time frame, so I work on this as I do, but definitely, again, it's one of these projects that I would like to, it is a whip that I would like to see as a faux before the end of my time off. So that is the Comfort Pullover by Celine Phaeton. The yarn is Eggplant, 100% superwash Polworth by Yarn Cafe Creations, and it's being made by me. Okay, moving right along. We're not done. Oh no, we're not done. Certainly not. Our next one is actually going to be, it's a gift, but it's for my son, and he knows about it. So this is called, here's a picture of the pattern page. It's called the Hot Toddy Hoodie. It is by Knititude in Canada. I believe, I'm trying to remember what her name is, and for the life of me, it's escaping me, but I'll put it here. This is, I've been working on this for a while. I don't know if I've actually shown this to you. There's a good chance I have, but if not, I'll show you now. This is such a cute tote bag. I'm a surgical tech by trade. That is my career and has been for almost 35 years. And once a year, I believe it's once a year, for about a month or 2, we get surgical tech students in their final rotation at work. They come and do cases with us and learn from us, and it's kind of like their last clinicals before they graduate. And not this year, but last year, the tech students were so good. They were really good techs. They already had had a good grasp of the job and of the clinical skills and everything, and they did a great job. I was very proud of them. But they all made us gift bags with our names on it, so I thought that was super cute. And they put these cute ribbons, and I just thought it was so cute I left it on. So that is my tote that is holding the Hot Toddy hoodie, and it's by Knit-A-Tude in Canada. So this is actually for my son. He is a larger man. I am making the 5X for him, and I am quite a ways down from the sleeve, from the break for sleeve. He enjoys his garments to where he enjoys wearing them longer than what the pattern calls for. So I will continue the length. I do have it written down. I believe he wanted it, I think it was 32 inches from the back of the neck. And once this measures 32 from the back of the neck, I'll be done. Yes, it will block a little longer, I believe. Actually, no, this is cotton. This is 70% cotton, 30% wool. So that actually won't be the case. It kind of blocks about normal, but I think it'll give a little bit. But my swatch kind of was on point. So what I'm using is Cascade Yarns Cantata. I'm using it in a multi-green, and it is caked up. Like, here's another cake here ready to go. And I have the one I'm working on now, which is here. And it's just so pretty. It is so pretty. And this has this really cool design stitch only in the back. But I thought that that was a nice little accent to it. So I am making him a 5X. However, what I did was, the way it's designed is it has you adding, like increasing, like one round for the body and sleeves. Next round, you don't increase. The next round, you only increase for the body. The next round, you don't increase. And then you just keep repeating those 4 rows for a certain amount of time before you split for sleeves. Then when you split for sleeves, it had you only increase on the body. I believe it was every round or every other round, I can't remember, a certain number for so many rows. But what I chose to do is to kind of pepper that throughout this area as well. So I kind of didn't follow exactly what they said, so that I had a generous fit up here as well. His largest circumference is not his chest, but I wanted to ensure it had a comfortable fit for him. So I chose to do it that way. I believe I am now at the point where my size that I'm making is probably closer to a 6X than a 5X, but that's okay because he likes it to be big and comfy, and I have plenty of yarn to make it happen, so it's okay. So it will be a hoodie eventually. So when I went to visit family in Florida for Easter, I chose to go to one yarn store while I was there. That's really all I had time for, and I took my sister-in-law with me. And while we were there, they had this Cascade Yarns Cantata in a solid color. And I thought, wouldn't that be cool? Oh, I lied. Hold on. It's on the sleeves too. There. It's on the sleeves too. It's just not in the front. It's on the sleeves and on the back, but it's not in the front. Wouldn't this be cool if I did like the cuffs, the ribbing at the cuffs and the bottom, and then potentially like the I-cord for the hoodie and maybe the trim right around the face in this solid green. It's like a dark green. Let's see if it has a name. Pine. It's color 35 and the name is Pine. Isn't it pretty? And it does match. It matches like perfectly here. Here's like one of the spots where the dark green is, and it matches like perfectly. Oh, I lost my cactus. Where did I lose it? Oh, I'll find it. Oops, dropped a stitch. Pick it up. Okay, so I have cactus. I have to get the other cactus. Isn't that cute? But I thought, wouldn't that look cute to just have that darker green as the accent on the ribbing? And then I also thought, I don't know that I will do it, but I thought it might look neat if I took a crochet hook and took this yarn and just fed it along the channel next that you see there in the stitches, like right here. Wouldn't that look kind of cool? So we'll see. I may or may not do it, but I bought the yarn, so I have the option to do it should I decide to. So this, I should have already been done. This has been on the needles since probably the end of January, beginning of February of this year. So it's been on the needles way too long. But this is definitely at the top of the list as a let's get this finished, because it's a gift and I want him to enjoy it. Would he be wearing it now? Of course not. But I want him to have the option to if he wanted. He won't wear it now, obviously. He'll wear it come winter. But that's also why I made sure to get something that was predominantly cotton, because he does prefer a colder climate. And I don't want something that's like 100% wool that he's going to be sweating in. So I chose to go heavily with the cotton, and that's how Cantata became the yarn of choice. And I think it's beautiful, and he already loves it. He's seen it. I've measured it against him. We're doing great. He's going to love it. So this is the Hot Toddy hoodie. It's by Knit Etude. She's a designer in Canada. Again, her name is here. And the yarn is by Cascade Yarns. It is Cantata, and it's being made by me. Okay, I had to get a drink of water. I had to pause. I had to get a drink of water. I'm doing a lot of talking. My mouth was so parched. So many whips. Is anybody still here? Shout me out if you're still here. God bless you. This is a lot. It's a lot for me. And I'm actually feeling a little anxious because I'm actually pulling out whips I haven't touched in a while, and I'm like, oh God, there's more than I thought there was. This is I'm getting anxious, but it'll be okay. It'll be okay. I'm hoping to finish them all. Likelihood of that is small, but anything that gets done is a win, right? It's a win, and I'm happy about that. So this one was not a whip. This became a whip on the trip. So because I forgot the one at home, this logic works in my house. Because I forgot that project at home, that gave me carte blanche to buy yarn to start another project while I was there. And I did. I did take extra needles, so I had needles to work on whatever. But, so when I got to town on Wednesday, we immediately went to the yarn shop, Around the Table Yarns, because they were open on Wednesday. They were not going to be open on Thursday because that's when they were getting to the venue to get everything ready. And I had never actually been to the actual physical store. So I thought, why not go and see what the store is all about. So while I was there, I had nothing in mind I was buying for. I really wasn't looking for anything to buy. I knew they would have a event-specific colorway that I could buy when we got to the venue, because they set up like a store at the venue. So I really wasn't looking for anything, but I allowed myself the option to purchase something if I chose to. So what I did see was this, which I think is just super beautiful. Isn't that beautiful? Look at all the colors in that. Yeah, it's really skinny. It is sock, it's sock yarn. However, it's bamboo sock yarn. So it's from Universal Yarns. It's bamboo pop sock. It is 100 grams, which is 492 yards. It's considered superfine. It's 55% bamboo and 55% bamboo, 37% cotton, 8% PBT. That tells me polyester. And the colorway of this one, the beautiful stripy one, is Badlands. And it was $12 a skein, a ball. And I kept looking at it. I don't make socks. I will eventually at some point knit socks. It's inevitable. My best friend is a sock designer, and she designs sock patterns. That's her thing, is she absolutely loves socks. It's inevitable. I am going to make socks. It just hasn't happened yet. However, I really like this yarn. But I'll be honest, I don't like to run something this thin by itself. It just reminds me of the bamboo cotton mix that I used to make my Vegas tank top. I tried running it single by itself, and I just did not like how thin that fabric was. It felt too thin to me, like something I wouldn't want to wear. So I prefer to run it double. So what I chose to do was to also buy cream. So I bought the same exact yarn in just regular natural cream. Oops, Chappelle. I bought it in the cream, and I'm running them together. What am I making, you ask? Well, we'll see. This may end up coming off the needle and becoming something else, but we'll see. It actually has a tremendous amount of stretch. Look at that. It's going to fit over my head just fine. But you probably can even tell because y'all are much more skilled than me. But it is a ranunculus. So me and this pattern, we have a history. This is probably, I want to say, the sixth attempt to make this pattern. I tried with other yarns very early this year. All attempts had to be scrapped. The yarn was so slippery and so thin, I could not work with it. I ended up tangling it up so bad when I tried frogging it, it ended up being thrown out. It's okay. It happens. It wasn't like I just tangled a little bit. I mean, the entire skein became unusable. I sat for hours frustratingly trying to untangle and couldn't take it anymore. And I threw it away. So it happens. And I have not tried to make the pattern since. But my thought was, this is such a nice fabric. It'll be a nice big billowy top that I can adjust. And again, not knowing how many yards I would need or whatever, that would be such a great pattern for using this. And I actually really like how this is working up. The way it's kind of striping and the colors in it, it looks really nice. I'm really enjoying that. So that is a project. It became a project, and true to form, this is my second time casting it on. I had cast it on because I also bought a third color of this because I thought I would run 3 together to make it closer to maybe a worsted. I did not like it. I did not like the 3 together. It was a pink. It was like about this pink right here. It was like this pink right here. And when the 3 were running together, it just really overpowered the whole project. And it was hard to really see the other colors because of the pink, like hard to see the blue and the green, and the actual kind of raisin color that's in there. Like up in here, it's not just the pink, there's other colors and the pretty like kind of yellow. So I decided I didn't like how thick it was and I didn't like how the colors were working out. So I ripped it out, started over with just the 2, and I'm much happier with it. I am working this with 5 needle. Let me make sure I'm correct. Yes, 5mm needles instead of 6. Just my preference. I did try making it with 6 in one of my previous attempts. I don't care for it to be that loose. Just my personal preference. So I'm making it with a 5. I started with 90 stitches on the hook and went straight into ribbing. I did not try to start this with a smaller collar. I knew from watching other YouTubers that that was probably a bad idea. And I think that this will be good. It will fit over my head for sure. It's very stretchy. And it's going to sit kind of like a normal shirt would here rather than being very open. And that's actually preferable to my preference. So that is the ranunculus. I don't need to describe the pattern. Every single person knows what that is. I know they do. It's by Midori Hirose. It's a lovely pattern. We don't get along. But I'm trying to mend fences. I really am. I'm trying to mend fences. I want us to be friends. So it is the ranunculus by Midori Hirose. The yarn is Bamboo Pop Sock by Universal Yarn, and it's being made by me. Okay. You guys have to forgive me. I need a little bit more water. Sorry about that. Much needed. This is a whip that has been on the hook because it's a crochet pattern. It's actually a Tunisian crochet pattern. I have to look because I've actually forgotten the name of it. It's been that long since I worked on it. As soon as I saw it in Ravelry, I was just wanting to make a Tunisian project so bad that I had put in Tunisian crochet and I found this. I went, oh, that is just beautiful. So here it is. It's the Mira Mosaic Shawl. It is designed by Arunima Goal, and it is copyrighted by Knitter Knotter. It is Tunisian as stated. It is being made, let me hold this right. I believe, let me show it to you. I want to hold it properly. Where's my large end? Here we go. This is how we're working it. It is a mosaic crochet Tunisian pattern. Isn't that pretty? It's super pretty. It really is. And I'm actually, other than the Bernat Softie, this is the only other time I'm ever using the recommended yarn for the project. So when I found the project, I was in the process of putting together a purchase from Knit Picks. And the yarn it suggested is Palette by Knit Picks. So I went ahead and chose 2 colors in brown. I saw this brown and thought it was gorgeous. It is Merlot Heather. Look at that. Oh, it's got these gorgeous lighter beigey brown in there, as well as this like wine red. Oh my gosh. It is so pretty. It is Palette, fingering weight, 100% wool, and it's Peruvian wool. It is not superwash. It's Peruvian Highland wool, 100%. And so as I was looking through Palette, I was like, well, what color would look good with it? I landed on Hair Heather, which is like a very just kind of basic beigey color, kind of a grayish. I can't say 100% if that was a good choice. It's okay. It's good. I think now that I see the pattern in the colors, it looks good. But I think this color on its own would not be something I would choose as a like for a project. I would not go on the Knit Pick site on palette, let's say to make a hat and scarf set, and choose this color. It just wouldn't happen. Not for me. And I don't even think this project is for me. I think I intended this to be for a friend, and it still may be for that friend, but we'll see. But yeah, so I actually stopped making this because I did not enjoy the Tunisian hooks I had that I was using on it. And so it has sat in hibernation since very early this year, probably first week of February. But now that I have purchased a different set of Tunisian hooks, it will become a finished project. So I believe it to be like an 11-row repeat to create this pattern. And what you're doing is you're just kind of really working this pattern to this point. And it's the same point through the whole project. And then this stripes is what grows. So the stripes will grow. This does not. So you could just wear it kind of like this, or as a shawl around your arms. It's going to look really nice. But what I can say is, as someone who first time using the palette yarn, it's really nice. It really is. It's very soft. It's definitely next to skin worthy, for sure. This is also very soft skin here. If you want to, yes, it's important here because you're going to wear it around your neck. But this is also a very soft skin spot to test. Yeah, it's definitely next to skin soft. And they do have a really nice selection of colors. But as soon as I saw this brown, I was like, oh, I need that brown. And then something told me to get this. So that I would like to see as a finished project as well. It does not have a time frame, but it is lovely. And I would like to see it complete. So that is another whip I have going. And that is the Mira Mosaic Shawl. And that is by Arunima. I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name. Arunima Gold. The yarn is Palette by Knit Picks, and it's being made by me. Okay. My next one does have a timeline. However, it's quite a ways away. It's actually going to be for Christmas. My goal is to have it done for November, so that the person can gift it in December. But this is a very large cake of yarn that I purchased from Wool Amour. They are, you can find them on Etsy. They do have a website. However, I find it easiest for me to purchase from them on Etsy, and their shipping is amazing. And they make the very large cakes that are similar to like the yarn art cakes. They make those cakes. I have now actually broken it up into segments. It's all blues so that I can color control. So this cake is actually an entire cake that I purchased from them that is 1,400 yards, because you can actually get it from them. They give you an option of how many ply you want, like threads. I chose 4. It is 600 grams, 1,400 meters. It's 1,400 meters. What is that in yards? Let's see. I don't know. I have to ask. That would be 1,400 yards, meters, meters to yards. 1531. So 1531. And I also had this left over. It's the same exact cake that I made myself a shawl with. And this is what I had left over. It's the like tail end like that. This is what I had left over. So she fell in love with what I had, but the shawl I made, she wants it as a poncho. So her mom loves to wear ponchos. It's my bestie, Leslie. Her mom loves to wear ponchos. And so she asked me if I could use this exact color that I was wearing at the time to make a poncho. And she likes old school ponchos. So what I ended up deciding to do was to purchase the same exact pattern of what I had on, but as the blanket. So it's called the Darjeeling Tea Blanket by Red Teapot Atelier. Is that how it's pronounced? I'm not quite sure if I'm pronouncing it right. I believe it to be French. Atelier. So they're very well known for their shawl patterns, but they do have some patterns for like some ponchos, but they're much more modern, as well as a few of their, you'll have to forgive me guys. There's so much fiber. I just had to sneeze. Sorry about that. Had to cut that right out. So she does take these shawl patterns, several, and turned it into a blanket. So in order to make that into a poncho, you kind of have to eliminate the center of the blanket because your head has to go through there, and then pick up at a point and then begin the pattern. So this took quite a while to figure out. So what it ended up happening is, it fits great. It's going to fit great. What I ended up doing is getting to a point is I chose, because stitch count wise, if I start where I am, that is not a point in the pattern where I trust it to hold the entire structure of the garment well. I feel like it'll stretch out the stitches that are up here and it won't look good. And I think it won't be strong enough. So what I've decided to do is just go ahead and cast on what I felt would be good to make the neckline. This is not part of the pattern. This is just me. I did that with single crochet. I then went like a foundation, single crochet foundation, because it's more stretchy of a beginning. I then went ahead and created the four corners with double crochets, you know, counting to where I had exactly the right number, and then going in and giving myself the four corners like you would a blanket, because you can do a poncho that way. So you have a point in the back and a point in the front, and yes, you'll have points on the arms, but of course I will modify the pattern at those points, just so we're just coming around, not really, we're not going to look like we're wearing a blanket. Obviously it's going to be a poncho. So now what I will do is go around another round again, maybe this time half double crochet, just to be something different, but increasing to get to a point where I have the proper stitch count to start the pattern. Now here's my beef, and this is one reason why I'm hesitant. This pattern, like her other patterns, and I say I don't like this, and then I go ahead and start a pattern made by her anyway, one of her patterns I should say, anyway, and then I get into it, and then I get frustrated and I kick myself for doing it. So this is a complaint I have. When you're first working the pattern, it gives you diagram, it gives you written description, it gives you stitch count. Beautiful. 3 ways to keep you on track to make sure that you're not going to mess this up, right? Okay. You get to a certain point in any of the patterns. I know because I own like 4 of her patterns. You get to a point and it says, okay, now you're going to repeat from whatever row to whatever row 3 more times. And that is the standard pattern. If you choose to only do it 2, for whatever reason, great. If you want to make it bigger, keep going then. Great. That's wonderful. Okay. So you go back to where it tells you to go back to. No stitch count. There is no stitch count beyond the first round in any of her patterns. And I'm scared because this blanket, let's be honest, it's the shawl times 4. And the way it's worked is you go all the way around. She then tells you what she wants you to do in order to turn. So you're not just going to keep going around and around and around and around and around like you would anticipate. It's around, stop, turn, go back around. It's literally the shawl pattern times 4. Because a shawl, you work one side, you have to turn it so you can go back to the other side. I assume that's why we're doing it. Plus, some of the stitches are designed in there, like you're doing front posts crochets, we'll say, just so that when you flip it back around, because you were on the back side, now it gives you the nice push forward you wanted or whatever. I'm very hesitant about this pattern because it's hard enough with a shawl to keep on track. Think of 4 shawls all at once. I'm very concerned. I'm thinking I might go rogue. I'm thinking I might choose something else. Whatever I choose obviously is going to be beautiful. I'm not going to short her on a gift she wants to give. But I am leery of this moving forward. So I might jump in and give it a go and see what happens. So stay tuned. This may become something completely different. We shall see. But that the plan is that this is going to be a poncho made from the blanket pattern for the Darjeeling blanket by Red Teapot Atelier. I think I'm saying that right. I'm butchering it. I admit it. The yarn is by Woolamore on Etsy. It is a custom cake I ordered from her. Not custom. It's available on there. It's just to a length I chose. It is 50% nylon, 50% wool, 50% cotton. It is being crocheted by me. Okay, let's do a count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've shown you 7 whips. 7. I've shown 7, 8. I've shown you 8 whips. We have a couple more. We do. I'm sad to report, we have a couple more. 8. Number 9. Number 9 began as the ripple jacket. Here's a photo. It began as a ripple jacket. Here's where that landed. You see it's not attached and it has no needles. The ripple jacket will not happen. I don't think it will ever happen. So I got distressed because there's a point where the notch collar here is being created. And I could not figure out how to do it. She provides a video of the technique to do it, and I could do that. That was not the problem. The problem was when you did the technique, it had your stitches sitting like this. You were on the wrong side of the work. It should have been like this. It was like this. Okay? So I go to Ohio. I brought this with me. I'm like, there are going to be probably 100 people there with far more knowledge than I have that can help me figure this out. And there was. Anne helped me figure it out. Here's what happened. What needed to occur was I needed to turn my work, switch the needles that are now on my When you turn your work, your needles are on your left hook, right? Because I had 3 needles left on my right. I had to turn it. Now they're on my left. I had to work those 3 stitches and cast on I-cord for so many rounds, for so many times, to give me the end of that notch. I then turned it back, and then you keep working, and that gave the notch, right? Okay, great. That was awesome. I then get to the other end, tells me to purl it. I'm like, that feels weird. Why am I purling it? I'm not sure why I'm doing this. Well, then, of course, it turned out it was on the wrong side, and now the pearls are showing on the wrong side. They're on the right side instead of the wrong side. I was willing to overlook it. This is fuzzy yarn. It's very fabulous fuzzy yarn, but it's fuzzy yarn. I was willing to overlook it. I kept going. I got a few rounds in, and then it tells me to turn, of course, and now you're working kind of along this whole, so it's front panel, sleeve, back panel, sleeve, front panel, because you're making a jacket, right? Like a cardigan. Great, not a problem. So I got through so many rounds of that, and actually the design is a garter stitch, but on the sleeves, it's stockinette, which I liked the differences in texture. I thought this would look beautiful to wear to the wedding. So I get to one of those rounds, and it tells me to turn my work, and now I'm on the wrong side. And it tells me to purl my front panel. And I'm like, no, this is garter. This doesn't feel right. Why am I purling the front panel? Well, I'm not quite sure why I'm doing that. And then I'm like, trust the process. They're a professional. They know what they're doing. I'm sure there's a reason why. So as I'm doing it, I'm like, this doesn't look right. But I keep going. I do the entire round that way. I flip back. Tells me stockinette. Okay, do whatever you need to do. Knit. Do all what I'm supposed to. Do another round. I've now done a wrong side row, all of it with pearls where I believe knits should be. And then now I've done a right side row correctly because it's correct in the pattern. I go to the next round, same thing. Tells me I should be purling. So now I'm looking at the fabric. The fabric's not looking right at all. It's looking like stockinette at this point. I'm like, wait a minute, this is wrong. This is supposed to be garter. This whole section is garter. And I even go look at pictures in the project pages of other people's garments to see, well, maybe there's something I'm missing here. And there wasn't. And this is a section you're supposed to repeat like 4 times. So it literally would give 2 panels of stockinette, like right here. And I come to realize it's most likely a typo. I'm already struggling because this person is a German-speaking designer. I'm thinking there was an issue with translating. Number 1, they never told you needed to turn your work to create the notch, to do the I-cord cast on. And if that wasn't necessary, then there just was not a clear way showing me how to do it. And I just chose to not stress about this anymore because this is something I wanted to wear at the wedding I'm going to in October. So I then said, you know what, maybe I just need to buy something, and I just won't. I've already made like a sleeveless top with sequins in it that I'm going to wear under it. So I could just purchase a jacket to wear. I don't need to make one. And then I just happened to be looking through Ravelry one last time, and I found a very interesting designer from, I believe, Japan, actually. And they are, let me look. Yumiko Alexander. She was born in Japan, and she's been knitting since she was in elementary school. She has such interesting looking patterns. You have to check her out on Ravelry. I'm just going to throw some footage here over the screen while I'm talking to you of some of her patterns. Such interesting textures and construction, and I love the big flowy look and feel of everything. And being as someone who lives in a warm climate, so many cute things that I could be making that aren't sweaters, but that I could get a lot of wear out of. So I was so happy, and I already have some of her patterns on my radar. So I clicked on a pattern and I was almost ready to commit to it, and said, you know what, let me just go down and look at what her other patterns are. So as I'm looking through Ravelry, I found this one, and it's called the Ridges. It's called Ridges. It was put out in a book that is all of her patterns, but it's for Universal Yarn. And I had just started this yesterday, but here's a picture. Here's a picture of what it should look like. Isn't that cute? That is so cute. And I love how you see her wearing it in this photo. That is how I plan to wear it, with a white ivy top under it, you know, the sleeveless one by Petite Knit that I made with sequins in it. I'm going to wear that under it. So you'll be seeing it from the bottom because I made it quite long. So it's on my hips. And then I plan to purchased either a longer like black skirt with boots or pants. I haven't decided. And I figured this would look so cute. So I have cast it on, and the construction is actually pretty cool too. So what I'm doing here is I'm learning a new technique, and it's double garter stitch. It's double garter stitch. I put a stitch marker so I know what the right side is. Look I've already got a few rows done. It's very simple. I found a tutorial on YouTube showing me how, that I'll link in the description if you're interested. There are others, but the way they're describing it is not the way it was written in the pattern. And I'm like, that doesn't feel right. That's not quite how she was describing it in the pattern. I think maybe I don't want to go that route. So I chose a different tutorial that was much older. And it was exactly how it was described in the pattern as how to execute the double garter stitch. And so it's coming together easily. No stress, exactly what I was hoping for. So if you look at the picture, you see all the cute buttons on it. Only the top button is functional. The rest of those are there just for adornment, and I think that's adorable. I think I'm going to not use a button. I'm going to use a clasp that I was originally planning to use for the ripple jacket. So I'm very happy with my choice. And my thought was maybe this should be a little longer. And it even states in the pattern, you can make it shorter or longer. It's up to you, because the construction, this is the left sleeve. You just keep working until the sleeve is the length you need or want. And then you cast more stitches on to continue to do the body. So you're kind of working it this way and then down to the right arm. So very interesting construction, very easy, no row counting, no stitch counting. So this is going with me to the hospital, because this is going to be super easy for me to do medicated with pain meds on board. I think I should be able to handle this while medicated. So as you can see, I'm in the very beginning stages. It calls for the 4.5 millimeter needles. I chose to use 5s. Number one, I'm a tight critter. I do crochet and knit tightly. This was my swatch at a 5.5. This was my swatch at a 5.5 for the ripple, which I felt to be too loose and floppy, and chose to size down to a 5, which is this, which is what I'm using now. And I like it very much. But just by design with this stitch, it's a little looser anyway. And I think because I sized up, that's why I chose not to even change the cast on number, because I went up in size with this, and it's giving me not as tight of a fabric. It's a little looser, and I actually like that. I like that it's going to have a little air to it. So this is the beginning stages of this one, but this one is a time crunch. So I do have to work this one in to the rotation of the blanket and the baldric. This is the bag that I got when I went last year to the yarn retreat. Yes, it's the same bag, still adorable. I love it. And they give you a patch each time you go. And I did get a patch this year, and so I'm going to go ahead and add it to this bag. I'm just going to keep putting them on the same bag, and that way they're all in one place. I think it's so fun. I like to have the little memory of when I went, kind of like my Girl Scout badges. So that is the Ridges Bolero top by Yumiko Alexander. The yarn is Oceana by Knit Picks. I know I've shown it to you guys before. It's Oceana by Knit Picks. The colorway is Axolotl. I don't come at me, but I think this color has been discontinued. I don't see it on the website anymore. I'm sorry. I really am sorry. I believe the black and green is gone too. All I see there now is like blue, green, yellow, purple, maybe orange. I'm not sure. But unfortunately, I think this colorway is gone, and that saddens me greatly. Isn't it beautiful though? It's orange core. The orange core is polyester. It is made from recycled plastic taken from the ocean, and all of the fluff is alpaca. So it is 54% alpaca, 40% polyester, sequel yarn, and it's a worsted weight. So it's super soft. It's super spongy. It's gorgeous. I love it. I'm glad I own it. I have more than I need. A lot more than I need for this project. So if somebody out there is so in love with this that they must have it, just reach out, because I might be able to hook you up when this project is done. So with that, that is again the Ridges Bolero by Yumiko Alexander. The yarn is Oceana from Knit Picks, and it's being made by me. Okay, we're getting down to the wire, guys. We're almost done with my whips. I swear. I swear, I swear, I swear. This one, I know I've showed you guys, but it has moved a fair amount. This is a collaboration with myself and Pearl Soho. I reached out to Pearl Soho when I saw Edible Thoughts make her nebula using the paintbrush mohair. Here's a picture, the inspiration for this project. And I fell in love with the colors. I thought, how cute is that? How utterly amazing are those colors? I loved how she put them together. I liked the fabric it created. It looked great on her. So I reached out to Pearl Soho and told them what my vision was, and they were excited to jump on board and provide yarn support for this project. So this is the chroma. Here's a picture by Jack Studio. I absolutely love, I'm a child of the 80s. I was born in the 70s. I'm a child of the 80s, and I love everything neon and color block. So it should not surprise anyone at all to see this creature being created. Isn't this looking amazing? So here's 3 out of 4 colors. I just got the pink on. It's called Wild Guava, and I cannot get enough of it. Cannot. This is True Teal, and this is Lime Fizz. This is a worsted weight mohair yarn. It is literally, and this is the 4th color, by the way. This is Orange Nectar. This will be the 4th color in the project. Isn't that beautiful? It is a worsted to Aran, worsted/Aran to chunky, bulky weight. It is 75% kid mohair, 25% Peruvian cotton, which of course we know that the cotton is the core that the mohair runs on. And it is super, super fluffy. Look at this. It definitely is worsted for sure. I mean, and it's because of the fluff. I am making this on a size 4 needles, which the pattern calls for. And I am making the size 3. I love this. I love this so much. So it actually goes like this. My markers are the sides, and then front and back. So this is the front, and the back is actually longer. There are short rows after the ribbing at the bottom to give you the high-low effect. So you do have a dip hem on the back. You do not have to do the dip hem if you don't want to. The pattern says if you choose not to have the dip hem, just move past this part and go straight into the construction after ribbing. But I went ahead and did it. This Wild Guava is my newest obsession. I am very happy about this one. It's looking amazing. It's so nice to work up. I have like half a sweater, almost half a sweater, and this weighs like nothing, guys. It's so light and fluffy, but it's going to be warm. And the beauty part is, it is so nice. You know how some mohairs are kind of scratchy and pokey? This one is not. It's so soft. It really is. It's so pretty. They have such fun, happy colors. I just love it. Very, very interesting. I think a very unique sweater that I think I'll definitely get some use out of. Like I do live in a warm climate, but it does get cold here for about a month, not very long. However, I have no problem because I like air conditioning. I have no problem wearing this when I'm going somewhere air conditioned. And the beauty part is wearing something like this that's going to be so warm, I won't need an outer jacket. I could wear this with a hat and a scarf and I'm good to go. So I'm loving this. I'm so happy at how this is coming along. So that is how my Chroma sweater by Jack Studio is coming along with using Paintbrush Mohair by Pearl Soho. Thank you again, Pearl Soho, for the yarn support, and it's being made by me. Okay, we're so close. We're so close, guys. Okay, this next one is a blanket for coworker. So my goal before I retire is to have made something for everyone at work that I like. There are hundreds of people that work in my department. I could not make something for everyone. I mean, I probably could if I'm making, like a coffee cozy or a hat. But I would like to make something substantial for everyone. So I've already made like an amigurumi monkey for a good friend named at work, and in her favorite color, teal. And I made a sweater for another coworker. I crocheted a cardigan for them, and they were very appreciative of it. I believe his wife and daughter confiscated it and take turns wearing it, which I love. I love that. because that's who it should have gone to in the first place, right? Um, and so this is the next project for coworker. So this is a blanket. I make baby blankets for coworkers that get pregnant that I like as well. Those are easier projects that go fairly quickly, depending on how, don't get too intricate. But they had expressed some interest in receiving a blanket. And so I said I would be happy to do that. And I asked their favorite color, and they said lavender. So I am just making a star stitch blanket. It's nothing extravagant. This person is just a very classic person. She's, I think anything too loud or fussy just would not match her personality. I think this is actually extremely pretty. It's coming along well. I actually enjoy making this stitch. And she's a star in my eyes, so happy to do it. And I'm just using Caron 1 pound in the color lavender blue. Isn't that pretty? So I tend to give gifts made from things that I think will be easy to maintain. Like the sweater I made my friend came from was Barocco Vintage DK, which is a combination of wool and acrylic. And it's machine washable. I choose to give gifts that they're going to be able to put in a washer and dryer and not worry about destroying. I don't want to give anybody a headache or homework or something they didn't sign up for. So I tend to try to make my gifts out of, I'm being thoughtful with the gift. I want to be thoughtful with what it's made out of, and I want you to be able to enjoy it. I can't imagine how upset I would be if I gave them something and they were allergic to it, and maybe it gave them, a rash, or they sneezed every time they tried to use it. That would be upsetting. So I would choose to just use yarn I think will last, and they can wash and dry easily and make it, fit into their lifestyle easier. So it's pretty wide. I'm just winging it. I went as wide as I felt a blanket should go, and I'm going to do the same with the length. And it's coming along great. So that is just a self-drafted star stitch blanket being made for a coworker. And the yarn is from Caron 1 pound from Yarnspirations, and it's being made by me. Okay, I'm back. I needed some more water, and I had to get a few more from back there. This is an area right here that's kind of under this counter here that you can see is part of the kitchen. We have an open floor plan for the living, dining, and kitchen. And this is like bar stool height, like cafe chair height. And it is a huge island peninsula for the kitchen. Well, we do have chairs that go up to it. We have 4, but we took 2 and moved them out of the way. My husband, God bless him, wanted to give me space for my stuff. And if you promise not to be too judgy, I'll show you. He gave me this cart here as well to be able to stack stuff on. And this is where my Swift lives, is here. So I can just crank stuff up. But yes, it's messy, I know. That's part of what I'm doing home for 2 days, is getting ready, because I'm not going to be able to for a while. So yeah, so I'm tidying up, I'm getting ready, I'm getting scripts filled, I'm getting luggage packed to go to the hospital, all the fun things. This again, self-drafted. So when the Yarnspirations Flower Power came out, I probably should have grabbed it, but it's okay. The all-in-one granny square that's flowers, I got all excited because they had this colorway, and it's cherry blossom. And my husband and I, cherry blossom is like our love language. It's our sign, like for each other, kind of a thing. So when we first started dating, I mentioned I love cherry blossom trees, and he mentioned he did too. So we were probably dating about 3 or 4 months, and I went online and bought a cherry blossom tree and had it shipped to this house because I wasn't living here. And he immediately dug up something out of the garden and relocated it to a neighbor's yard. They happily took it and planted the tree. And now we have a tree that's been going for over 3 years, and she's thriving, and she does blossom once a year. Her name is Twiggy, and she's beautiful. And that's like our love language. So as soon as I saw that they had a colorway that was called cherry blossom, and it reminded me of cherry blossoms, I had to get it. Is it as difficult as people say to do these flowers? I don't think so. You just have to go into it holding several crochet hooks. I had a 4, a 4.5, a 5, and a 5.5, all sitting here ready to go. And if I hit a section that was a problem, like once or twice, I didn't get the dark pink in time, so I just started with a smaller hook. Same thing with the light pink. And I think there's a spot in here somewhere where it did happen where I was a little short, and I said, you know what, in the grand scheme of things, who cares? So this is a self-drafted blanket. I decided to make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's 8 squares wide. And the reason for that is because I was going to just buy these and make a blanket out of this square. And at the time, my then boyfriend, now husband, was like, yeah, but your toes and fingers and whatnot, like, go through the blanket. Like, he's not crazy about that. So I said, okay, I don't mind. It's fine. So I went ahead and did just 8 across the bottom. And the rest of the way, I'm doing moss stitch with the same yarn. And I actually like how this is coming out. You see how it's just kind of randomly placing the darkest color? I did color control for 2 stripes in here. And the reason being, it started to want to fault all to one side. And so I just chose to move it the one time, and then it kind of laid it nicely the rest of the time. And then when I joined a second skein, it started happening again. So I just moved it once, and I'm happy about it. So yeah, so that's a blanket I'm still working on. I have 2 more skeins. So when those 2 skeins go on, it'll be done. And the reason it's not attached right now is because I worked on this, I think it was maybe Friday, and I was at the end of the skein. So now I'm just ready to join on my next one. So that is a whip. There is no time frame. I would like to see it done at some point. There. So that is a self-drafted cherry blossom blanket. The yarn is by Yarnspirations Flower Power, all in one granny, and it is being made by me. Okay, so that is that blanket. I didn't know I had this many whips, y'all. I'm going to count at the end, and I think that I'm going to be realizing I can't get all these done, but we're going to see what we can do. So I think I've shared this with you before, but in case I haven't, I'll just do a brief explanation. This is a top I found on Ravelry by accident, looking for something else, and instantly fell in love with it and could not get it out of my mind. And here's a photo. It's called the 3-in-1 Henley, and it's by Alpha Knits. Her name is Anne, and she's Alpha Knits on Ravelry. So as you can see, it looks like a layered Henley top or sweater or tunic or however you want to call it, but in fact it is one. And I cast this on because I wanted to take this with me to Ohio to the yarn retreat. And the reason is because my thought was there's going to be plenty of people there making their Antipodes, Rhinebeck sweaters or flock vests or whatever, because actually this was the same weekend as flock. So maybe not a flock sweater, but flock vest. But, various make-alongs, patterns everybody sees. I thought this would be unique. And you wouldn't see other people working on this. So I have gotten this far, which is actually pretty far. It's being worked with 3.5 needles. The pattern calls for 4. However, I don't like the fabric this makes with a 4. This is superwash wool. It is Valley Yarns superwash DK. The pattern calls for sport weight. However, I found a pair of scissors. However, this DK, the wraps per inch, fall within the same parameter as the sport weight called for in the pattern. So I just went ahead and chose to use this superwash DK. I did find this was a very good match, like 97 or 98% match on yarnsub.com. By the way, in case you don't know about YarnSub, this is not a plug. This is just a hookup. I use YarnSub all the time. For example, this isn't available anymore. So what if you want something similar? You can go on there and they will help you find it. And they start with the closest match at the top of the page and then continue down. So you could type in, let's say, for example, Valley Yarns Superwash DK, and then it will pop up with viable substitutions for that yarn. And they base it off of wraps per inch, ply, gauge, reached on needles, the way they tell you on these labels, like gauge on this one, on a 4 millimeter needle is 5.5 stitches for 1 inch. So obviously you would, if you didn't have this yarn or you wanted to use maybe Malabrigo, we'll say, you could then look at the gauge of that or wraps per inch of that yarn to see how close of a match it would be to this yarn. So, but when I blocked my swatch, I felt it was a little too thin for my taste. I wanted it a little thicker. So I chose to make the sweater using a 3.5 size needles, and I'm just making a medium instead of a small. So the way you do this is you cast on, it's from the bottom up, and you start with ribbing, and then you start with doing your stripes, and every so many stitches you have to turn. And at that point it would be a German short row type turn, but this is actually different. She calls it a shadow wrap, but it's not a shadow wrap like I saw people doing in tutorials on YouTube. It's more of a right lifted increase, if that makes sense. You're lifting the stitch next to it from the one before, and you make a stitch in that. And then you treat them as one stitch when you come back around. So you would just then knit those two together as one. And there's a lot of them in this, a lot. Because what you're doing is you're creating this ski slope. And now I'm at the point where this whole side of the ski slope is done. I joined on the second color, which is giving like a stockinette roll. So it looks like it's a shirt on top of a shirt. And then the blue does the same. It looks like it's a blue shirt on top of the other shirts, having a stockinette roll. And it will stay like that. You leave it as stockinette. And now I start increasing this side. And I will keep working this side the same way I work the other side until they are even. And this side is as high as this side. And then I just keep working up towards the underarm. So it's a pretty cool. I just lost steam on it because of how many turns there are. And it tells you, you see I have tons of tails. It tells you in the pattern to carry the yarn because, you know, you're wrapping and turning and then you're starting in a new area. So the color has to carry. So you see green is here, but it's not going to start again until over like, hold on, over here. Let me see if I can show you. It's not going to start again until over here. So it tells you to carry your yarn. I personally do not know how to do that in a way that doesn't make the fabric look bulky or that part look thicker. You know what I mean? I don't know how to do it and have kind of an invisible look or an attractive look to your fabric. So I am choosing to cut the yarn and I'll weave my ends in. That's my choice. I chose to do it that way, and that's the way I'm sticking with it, just only because in forming my stripe pipe, I attempted to do it the other way, like carry my color to weave in ends, and I didn't like how it looked, and now that section of fabric looks kind of wonky because of it. So I just choose not to do it that way. I'm choosing to do it this way. But all the turning and getting lost at how many have I done and do this 6 more times and whatnot was getting, you know, a little frustrating. So I will pick this back up, but probably after I've at least completed 1, if not 2, of the pressing items that do need to get done over this one. So yeah, so I love that. I really want to own it. It will get made. It just may not fall within this time frame. But that is the 3-in-1 Henley by Alpha Knits. The yarn is Valley Yarns by Superwash DK, and it's being made by me. Okay, I promise there's only 2 left. This one you've seen. And I'm sad it's not done, but it's a slog. This is the Freestyle tee. Is it the tee or t-shirt? It's the Freestyle shirt by Paula Strict, I believe. Mueller, Susan Mueller, also known as Paula Strict. Pamela Mueller, my bad. I'm sorry. It is Paula Strict, also known as Suzanne Mueller. So sorry for butchering your name, Suzanne. My apologies. It is called the Freestyle shirt. So I am making this from another cake. I know, it looks so big. And I'm like, God, that's huge. But again, that's me. That's just me. It's not huge. It's just me. This is being made holding double. Bamboo and cotton. They're both bamboo cotton. It's a fingering weight white that I got from Amazon. I have a ton of this because I love it. I love this yarn. It works up really nice. You get like 8, depending on who you buy it from, you get 8 or 10 skeins, balls for $20, and it's just super soft. I made my Vegas top from a similar type of yarn that was hot pink, and I love it. And this is going just as well. But I'm running it double with one of these. It's from Woolamore, but it's this gorgeous gradient of like Tiffany blue to like sagey aqua. I mean, just gorgeous. It's gorgeous. But it's such a slog. It's a stockinette slog. And I know you guys can relate to that. And I mean, in all honesty, look how much work I've put into this. I mean, I still got a ways to go because I'm only a couple inches from the underarm. But oh my goodness gracious, man alive. It's just a lot of stockinette, guys. A lot of stockinette. That's all it is. And I knew that going in. I love how stockinette looks. I truly love how it looks. I just want gnomes to come create it for me. I want to wake up in the morning and I want this to be folded neatly, all done at the foot of my bed. That's all I ask for. I don't think it's too much. But this is where it is. I'm going to be honest, in all honesty. We could be sitting here a year from now staring at each other and this bag, which is just like a canvas drawstring bag, going, this is still on the needles. It might. It's beautiful. I love it. I really do want it, and I want to wear it because it's gorgeous. I just want it to be done. How about that? I just want it to be done. So it'll get there. I just don't think it's going to be in these 3 months, but it'll get there. So it is the Freestyle shirt by Pamela Mueller, also known, I keep doing this. I am so sorry. It is by Suzanne Mueller, also known as Pamela M. Why am I screwing this so bad? Paula Strict. Yes, Paula Strict. Suzanne Mueller, also known as Paula Strict. Freestyle shirt. The yarn is by Cotonio, I believe. Cotonio. I think that's it. Cotonio. It's from Amazon. Also from Woolamore on Etsy. That's who makes the yarn, and it's being made by me. Okay. One more whip. And then we're going to count them. And we're going to reflect. All right. So let's talk about this. This has not been seen by anyone yet. And I'm going to be honest, this may just go away. So I might just frog this and think of something different. So I have a love relationship with this yarn. This is a no longer available yarn from Joanne. God rest in peace. May she rest in peace. It is the Big Twist yarn. It is their Halloween color called Spooky Season. I fell in love with this over 2 years ago from the first time I saw it. I don't know why. I mean, it's not my colors. I can't help it though. I love this so much. It is black. It is kind of silvery gray. It's not white. It's more like a silvery gray. It's a couple different oranges, a couple different kind of purples. There's kind of like a purple, plumish purple, and then maybe more like an eggplant. Like here you can see the colors. Like here's a good span of all the colors right here. And it's just gorgeous. I don't know why I love this yarn so much, but I do. It is 100% acrylic. That's okay. Here's what happened. I had made a crochet sweater back when it was readily available the first year I bought it and loved it, which was, I believe, 2 years ago now. 3 years ago, because she's been gone over a year. It was 3 years ago. I bought it. I fell in love. I made a crocheted cardigan with a hood that was from MJ's Off the Hook. It was so big. It was so new in my crochet career and so big. I could not wear it. It was beyond huge on me. It was ridiculous huge on me. I gave it to a friend of one of my son's best friends. She absolutely loves it. I'm glad she loves it. I then decided I would, the next year, a year later, fast forward, I buy more of it, and I made yet another, like a tunic crochet top that I found on Ravelry. And this was the back of it. Again, sometimes the same way knit garments don't have ease for bust, I have yet to find a crochet pattern that does. I could be wrong, but I have found some that have short rows in the back. That kind of helps a bit, but that doesn't help for bust. So of course I look at the photos in the pattern, and it looks great. It's like tunic length, like, you know, mid thigh on the designer. And I'm like, that's so cute. Oh my gosh, I must make that. That's the perfect pattern for spooky season. And so I made it. Turns out, not on me. It was, I'm obviously taller. Well, this pattern, it's got stitch repeats, and it's from bottom up. So I literally had to go and make more of the repeats towards the bottom. I had to go back on, recast on to the bottom and start again. What a pain in the butt. And the same with the sleeves. They were way too short. I had to keep going. I had to carry the pattern still. But I have since frogged it. It was never worn. I wore it maybe twice. I like how this yarn looks knit better than I like how it looks crocheted. So I found a pattern. It's called Ease. Here is the pattern. It's called Ease, and it is by Alicia Plummer. I think that's absolutely adorable. That is something I could make to be obviously longer than as it's seen here, so it could be more like tunic length. And I'm making it slightly oversized. I love the collar, like with the drawstring. I think it's just super cute. I like how it fits. It's slightly fitted in the waist. It's like a sweatshirt, but more flattering for a female frame. I love that. But I've started it. I don't know. This is the neck. Let's just. I mean, I don't know about you. I don't think it's supposed to be this big. I could be wrong, but I just don't know. And here's the thing. I have yarn, and I have enough to make it. I still have skeins, but I choose to do this before I dip into the skeins. It's a finite amount. It's once what I have goes away, it's gone forever. I'm trying to avoid another mishap. I don't want to make yet another garment and not like it. So at this point, I think this is just going to go into hibernation. I will count it as a whip because it is on some needles. However, I firmly believe that is not going to come to fruition. I'm going to have just, it's going to be hibernated, as is the freestyle shirt. They're going to go into hibernation to be addressed later. They will be counted as a whip because they are on needles, but they will not be worked on during this time. Let's put it that way. I think my Ease top will become something else, or I may try to cast it on again, because I have seen that when I cast something on and have an issue and then frog it and then start again, that it's better the second or third time. The same had to be done for my 3-in-1. I had cast on using a 4 and I did not like it. So I took it all out. And it's not that I didn't like it. I also got around and realized I screwed it up at some point. Knit, purl, knit, purl, knit, purl became knit, knit. So I took it off. I said, let's just go 3.5. I went 3.5. And then after the ribbing was done and I was about to start the stripes, I realized, wait a minute, you're using 3.5 and you're making a small. You were going to make a small with a 4. This is probably a bad idea. And so I went up to a medium. So I had to take the whole thing out, start again. Needless to say, that second or third time I cast on looks way better and is much neater and more size appropriate the second or third time. So that may happen. It may, or it may not. My guess is not. So they will be counted, but they're not going to get worked on, I'll be honest. It's just, I have so much other looming. We're just going to let those lie for now. And we will be spooky season less. We're not going to have something for Halloween with that. I wanted to, which is why it got cast on, but it's not going to happen. And that's okay, because there's always next year. So that is the Ease pullover by Alicia Plummer. The pattern is by Alicia Plummer. The yarn is by Joanne, Big Twist Spooky Season Joanne, and it's being made by me. Okay, so yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. That's 15 whips, guys. I have 15 whips. Oh my God, I didn't know it was that many. So even not counting 2 that I know I'm not going to work on, that's 13. That's a lot. I have a lot of whips. Wow. Needless to say, 3 months is not enough to finish them. But you know what would be interesting? Let's see how many we can get done. That's the goal. So I'll have 3 months off. So I don't have to worry about, work every day, which is good. I do have to worry about, doing my exercises for recovery, taking care of myself physically and mentally. But that includes my craft. My craft is my mental. So the last year has been really hard for me physically. I have been struggling with increasing pain levels and inability to do certain things. I can't sit, stand, lay, anything without pain. So life has been unkind to me in that respect over the last year. But that's the only way I can say my life has been prosperous and happy every other aspect, except for my physical limitations due to pain. So now that the pain is going to go away and I'm going to have a new kind of pain, that's okay, because it's the light at the end of the tunnel. But what I will say is this: my craft has gotten me through this time. So I am a person that wants to be productive. If I'm awake, I want to be productive. So long before I knew how to do anything with a ball of yarn and a stick, which was pre 3 years ago, I learned in 2023 to crochet. July 2023 began my fiber journey. Before that, and I went through a divorce. It was the first time being single since my 20s. So I didn't know about internet dating. This is all new to me. I had to find stuff to fill my time, to not dwell. And that included lots of homemade, from scratch foods that I would make and take to work because I can't eat it all myself, So there was a lot of obsessive cleaning, washing the car every week and waxing and cleaning. And that's how I chose my outlet. And then I started having physical pain from the first hip. And I saw how not knowing what was causing it was causing me stress and not being able to feel like I was being productive. And then something inside me said, I think I want to learn how to crochet. And so I did. And now this truly has gotten me through so much I can't even tell you. This fiber art to me is my passion, it is my release, it is my comfort zone, it is my home. I am happiest when I have a project in my hand. It keeps the anxiety away. It helps battle depression. It helps me to feel productive when I struggle to just get out of bed and walk to the bathroom. So let me just say, I am looking forward to the next 3 months, to enjoy my craft, to tackle what I can with what I have started, finish as much as I can. And moving forward, I really do want to be more responsible with how much I'm doing at once. I need to learn how to do things other than sweaters and blankets. I really do. I really do. I need to make a hat once in a while or a scarf. I really do. I enjoy shawls. I really do. I love making like crochet shawls. And turns out I am a poncho girl. I didn't realize I liked ponchos until I wore the one I made at the retreat. We had a fashion show. I'm like, I actually love this. This is adorable. I want to make more of these. So that is moving forward. That is something I would like to do in the future. And I would like to self-draft some because I now see I actually am successful at that. And I think I would like to self-draft some, like a poncho or two, the way I did this top. So it'll be fun to see what happens with that once I work at some of these. So thank you so much. If you're still here, give me a yay emoji at some point, blow the horn with confetti, or give me a big bow, or, a boom, a nice big boom, or a ball of yarn. Give me some kind of emoji saying that you made it this far and I didn't bore the crud out of you. And thank you so much for sticking through this and helping me see what I have going on, figure out what I want to complete and what needs to go into hibernation, and for just being awesome, because you are awesome, and I appreciate each and every one of you, and I've enjoyed this immensely. So with that, I will talk to you soon once I get home and I'm no longer in the hospital and I'm back in this chair and working on a craft. We'll meet again. So thanks so much, everyone. And I hope that your life, like mine, is filled with peace, love, and yarn until we meet again. Bye, y'all.